G'day guys, Greg here. Now today I am going to cook up this steak right here. It's a Coles finest Australian Angus Beef Scotch Filet, 100-day grain fed. And as you can see, this costs $22, although it is 375 grams, so you are getting quite a lot of steak there, and it is one of the best cuts of meat there is. Now I'm going to cook this steak how they describe to do it on the back. And I'm using a cast iron frying pan today. Last time I cooked on a cast iron, it made all the difference. Now on the back here, it gives you some instructions on how to cook it. How to cook. Take the steak out of the fridge and allow it to come to room temperature. Once at room temperature, lightly oil the steak, not the pan, and season with salt. Heat a frying pan or barbecue to a high heat, and once too hot to hold your hand over, add the steak. Cook for 2 to 3 minutes on each side for rare, 4 to 5 minutes on each side for medium, and 5 to 6 minutes on each side for well done, or until cooked to your liking. Once cooked, remove from the pan, cover with foil and set aside for 5 minutes to rest before serving. Note, cooking temperatures and times are provided as a guide. Appliances will vary between brands. Well, that's true. The different types of frying pan you use will give a different result. Which is why I'm using the cast iron frying pan today because, mate, that thing can cook a steak. Anyway, let's take it out and just see how good the marbling is in this. Well, you can see a nice big vein of fat there and little bits of marbling through there, which looks good. There's a little bit of fat on that side too. And there's the back side. You can see some marbling through there and little bits around there. Now I have taken this out of the fridge. It's been sitting out of the fridge for about 1.5 hours now and is room temperature. So the next very important step is to get this frying pan as hot as I can get it. Alright, well, let's get this out of its packaging and just take a look at that. Oh mate. So let's add some oil. I'm using olive oil today. Sometimes I think if you're using a really hot pan, you should use a vegetable oil. It doesn't burn, but it's only for like 3 minutes on each side or 4 minutes, so it shouldn't be too bad. But I'll rub some on the fat as well, on this fat stuff, coat that in oil, and I'll add a ton of salt on that side and flip it over. We'll do the same again. Alright, so we can see now that pan is smoking hot, and well, that is really hot to hold your hand over, so that's good. Something else that you will need is a timer. Now, whenever I'm cooking steaks, I always have a timer on hand, so I know when to flip it. So let's throw this steak on. And put the timer on for 4 minutes. I'm going to cook this medium today, so we'll see how it turns out. Okay, well there's the timer. So that was 4 minutes. So straight away, you need to turn it over and just take a look at that crust that's on there. Oh mate, so I'll put the timer again for another 4 minutes. And also I'm just not moving it around the pan, I just let it sit there and do its thing. Alright, well there's the timer, so let's just take a look at it. Now it has got this nice bit of fat here, which I did want to cook down a little bit as well, so I'll just let that happen. Oh yeah, take a look at that fat now. Alright, so put it onto a plate and we'll cover it in some alfoil for about 5 minutes. Alright, well it's been resting for 5 minutes. And here we have it. Still have some juice that's fallen out, but let's cut it in half and see what it looks like on the inside. All right. Well, that knife just went through it like butter. And there we go. Looks a little bit rare in some sections there. But if that's how you like it, then half your luck. So I'll cut some nice little thin bits off. Look at that, that knife effortlessly going through this steak. Wow. So that was 4 minutes each side, and you can see how rare it is. Probably should have done it maybe 5 minutes on each side, and I reckon it would have been perfect, this. Unless, of course, that's how you like your steak, and then, for you, it's perfect. But let's see what it's like. Oh. Oh, man. That is really tender. It's really juicy, really tender. The flavour of it is just a classic steak flavour. It's just so good. That is a really good cut of meat. That Angus beef, grain fed, just tastes amazing. Well, there you go. That's the Coles Finest Australian Angus Beef Scotch Filet. Mate, that stuff is really good. Expensive, but I think for the size of this, you could probably feed 2 people with it anyway. So, but yeah, that's a really nice cut and well worth giving a try if you're into steaks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time I cook a steak. See you then.
Oh yeah, this is Greg's Kitchen.